Hey y'all, welcome back to another exciting episode of Life on the Ave. I don't even know what number we're at now, Patrick. What is this, like 63? 63. Wow, good
You did
guess.
know.
Good guess. Good guess. So we are here today with the cut bakes. What do you guys call yourselves? The cut bakes? Yeah, the cut bakes. So like when people like yeah, I'm trying to think of like, hey, we're the cupcakes.
Mhm. The
That's what you
cut.
say?
Yeah, or the cut. I mean,
The
when we
cut.
when we talk to each other, we just say the cut. I wanted to just call it the cut, but I didn't want people to like think it was a salon or
Yeah, yeah,
something.
yeah.
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 But to cut in baking terms means to like add cold butter into something like you would do like
Okay.
in scones or in biscuits or something like that. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and those are my favorite things to make, so I wanted to incorporate that somehow.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, did we leave the scones up front? We might have to grab them and do a taste test or something.
Sure.
Live
Yeah,
taste
I brought them
test.
because I watch your crumble videos.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Just shot one right before this,
Nice.
just
Oh,
now. So
cool. Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah,
brought
we'll definitely have
three.
to get
Yeah,
you back in for one.
I brought three different kinds today so you guys could eat them.
Sweet. Yeah, I might have to do my own review. Love it. Yeah. Yeah, we love when guests bring us treats. So
I've worked in the restaurant business for long enough to know that people are always hungry.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And I'm 100% being tempted. I'm trying to be good. I had a big party weekend,
Oh, nice.
wedding weekend. So
Ways,
yeah, I
right?
was feeling a little bloated. I'm like, yeah, let me chill out this week, but it's impossible.
Don't
Halloween,
quit
yeah,
now,
no,
Vince.
don't quit now.
Don't quit now.
Don't quit now. But yeah, so the Cup Bakes. So the Cup Bakes, owned and operated by the talented couple Maureen and Matthew. Maureen, aka Mo.
Mhm.
Friends call you Mo. Family call you Mo.
Everybody.
Everybody.
Once they find out about the Mo, it's never Maureen again.
Mo's a great
Yeah,
nickname.
thank you.
Yeah, great nickname. Is a charming from scratch bakery and event host specializing in pastries, cakes, breakfast fare. The Cup Bakes also offers supper clubs, catering, and a range of creative events and classes. We aim to establish a welcoming community vibe where guests can enjoy delicious food and engaging conversations at our supper clubs and events. Our menu features unique, thoughtfully crafted pastries and cakes with options to accommodate dietary restrictions such as vegan and gluten free. Additionally, we host cake decorating classes, kids baking sessions, and other events designed to bring people together through food. Maureen and Matthew live in Newark, Delaware with their two young kids. They have worked together for over 13 years, deciding 3 years ago that leaning into their own business vision was the most important thing to create generational wealth and an amazing model for their children about entrepreneurship and making their own creative path. Um, the Cupbake Supper Clubs are their most creative outlet that features a 5 course seasonal chef inspired menu, scratch made desserts, and a welcoming laid back alternative to fine dining. These suppers are held monthly at Fair Cafe in Wilmington. Sweet. So I'm trying to figure out where I want to start. Is there anywhere in particular you want to start?
I mean, I guess we could talk about the supper clubs because that's definitely the thing that would be most local to here since
Okay.
we do it at Fair Cafe on Ninth Street in Wilmington.
Love that.
It's an awesome coffee shop and by day, and then the owner, his name is Mike Day, and he also owns Farmer and the Cow on Market Street and Blitzen that'll get ready
Mikey
to open.
Day.
Yep.
Yep.
So he was actually a customer of mine at Cantwell's Tavern like
Okay.
13-ish years ago or so. And we've been doing the suppers there. We did some before COVID and then had to stop. And then so this year we've done pretty much once a month since January. So we just come in and we pretty much take over the whole space on a Saturday night. Um, it's like between a 12 and a 20 person dinner party. So it's 5 courses and it's all just really laid back. You can either sit family style or you can sit by yourself and
Okay.
it's a set menu and you come in and you kind of like mingle and get to know everybody and chat. And it's just a nice alternative to going to a restaurant and sitting down and eating and then just standing back up and leaving again. So,
Interesting, interesting. So I have a lot of questions that just, jump from this. So
sure.
Mary Kate like preps all this stuff
Mhm.
and I never go off the, the script. So,
It's better
um,
not to because then it's like more of a natural conversation
yep.
for us. Yeah.
Yeah. So first one, going back to the name, we started with the name.
Mhm.
Your name in general, the Cup Bakes. I struggle with us because like I don't like being known as the Garmin Group. Like
Yeah.
I would rather be known as, something else, not like my name out there. I'm trying to, not be boastful and stuff like that. So I like your name.
Right.
Yeah, the Cup Bakes. It's definitely interesting. But Supper Club. So the only person in my life who ever said supper was my grandmother.
Right.
So I have like a nostalgia of like my grandmother saying, "Hey, supper's ready."
And I
So, do you
think
get any
that
pushback on that name or anything, or what?
I don't get any pushback on it. I get people that ask if there's like a membership required to do
Mhm.
it. But I do think it really harkens back to kind of that time period where people mingled a little bit more.
Yep.
People had dinner parties in their home. You know, you would go to a friend's house and they would have, you know, an area where you would have cocktails and then you
Hmm.
would all go sit and have dinner together. And then maybe you'd have a little nightcap. You'd have like a nice bourbon or a scotch or
Yep.
something after dinner. And I feel like this generation, we don't dine that way that much anymore. And everything's very quick and it has to be very convenient. And
The
I
fast casual.
yeah, and
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
we should just kind of slow down and enjoy each other a little bit more.
Yes.
So we wanted to create something that was dining out, but done in such a way that it becomes more of an event than just going and eating at a restaurant.
Hmm.
And, you know, you and Mary Kate going out on a date night, ordering one entree, and then leaving and it being,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
a little blah at times. So we wanted to kind of get back to that. We always hosted in our own home, and then we would have friends that would be like, why don't you offer this to other people?
Hmm.
And that kind of springboarded it into this, and it's been pretty successful so far. But it's definitely something that we both really like to do.
I love that. So I'm a little just looking for clarification. So like do I bring a party of my own, 12 to 20
You
people,
could.
or can Mary Kate and I just show up?
Either way.
Yeah.
So we've had it rented out completely. If
Hmm.
you did want to rent it completely yourself, it would just be a minimum of 12 people that we would require and probably a maximum of 20. But we've had people rent out the whole supper and just have a party just for themselves.
Yep.
And we've had it be, you know, 8 or so different couples too.
Yeah. So, because I think that that's very, very interesting. So, I went to a place in Kennett Square. I'm blanking on the name right now, but it's like, it's similar to like a fair cafe setup. Like it's some sort of, cafe, little market during the day.
Tallulah's table.
Tallulah's Table.
Hmm.
Yeah. And then you need like 6 months in advance to make a reservation there.
Yes.
So I had the, privilege of going there one time and I was like, this is fantastic.
Hmm.
Like, I know, we're just cooking dinner. Like if I was at Business Center, I'm just cooking dinner for, these 12 people tonight. And it was such an experience because like I felt like the waiter really got to connect and like, be a part of the whole entire process.
Yes.
So I think that like business model is very interesting. And definitely creates a very impressionable, memorable experience.
I think it does too. And I think that customer service and getting to know people when they dine out is something that just lacks.
Yep.
And you really only get it at a like very high price point now. And I think that in those moments, I have always been the front of house
Mhm.
person, if you will. And my husband is a chef by trade.
Okay.
We met at work and it's always kind of been our language.
Yep.
And I really enjoy hosting people and getting to know people and saying like, "Oh, Vince, you were here last time. I know you really like the ziti. We did something different with the sauce. Tell me how you like it this time." Blah blah blah. Everybody just wants to be remembered.
Love that.
They want to feel special. And I feel like we've really gotten away from making people feel welcome, making them feel like they can eat dinner for 2 hours and they don't need to feel rushed.
Hmm.
And I think it's just a really special thing to bring people back to, making it a little bit more special.
Yeah, super nice. So you guys, you say you do these once a month,
Hmm.
and what is like the price point?
So it's 95 a person,
Okay.
and that includes gratuity.
Yep.
That includes the 5 courses, and it includes a complimentary prosecco toast at the end of the meal
Love
too.
that.
Yep. So it's like 3 different appetizers, and then 3 seated courses, and then 3 different like mini desserts at the end as well.
Okay.
So
Yeah, switch it up every month.
yep. There's only like 1 or 2 things that have kind of become something that people expect now. My husband makes duck bacon.
Duck bacon.
He gets like whole ducks and breaks them down and cures them. And we serve that on like some house-made white bread with like a spiced orange marmalade. And that's been like an appetizer that's kind of been in like steady rotation.
Okay.
Yep.
Love that. Love that. Yeah, anytime you go to a place that's got duck on the menu, it's definitely,
Yeah,
high
we try
class.
to do
So,
stuff that's like a little bit different, specifically when it comes to like protein proteins and things like
Hmm.
that. So the Thanksgiving one will have like I think he's gonna do a Cornish hen instead of a turkey or
Yep.
stuff like that. So
Yeah, yeah, always interesting, and it's amazing like what you can get here in Wilmington, Delaware. So it sounds like you're a fan of the show. You've listened to some episodes. So we've had a handful of chefs and people in the industry, and our good friend is Antmo from Bardea.
so I actually know Amanda.
Sweet,
Yep. So we
love
worked
it.
together a million years ago at Cantwell's, me and her and Dan Sheridan
Yep.
actually. Yeah. So
Small world.
yep.
Dan's been on the show, so it was only a matter of time before you got on.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And Antmo was like, yeah, we had kangaroo on the menu for a while, then we took it off, and like I still get people coming in saying like, hey, can I get the
Hey, can I get
kangaroo?
the kangaroo, right? Yeah, because people they want something a little bit different, and there is a market for it in this area. And I love Bardea. I'm 100% on board with Bardea steak, the garden, anything. If we go out on a nice date night, like that's where we're going
Nice.
in the city for sure. Yeah, me too.
Love that. So you said three appetizers and then three like main course options.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you come in and it's kind of like a mingle situation, they're
Where do
all
you guys
set up
mingle
like
at? Like, do people
cocktails
mingle in the
style.
front or like back towards the
Have you
bar?
been in
Like,
there before?
so I will give you some background on us. So,
Oh, okay.
Fair Cafe. So, 9th Street Development Group,
Mhm.
who owns that block there. So I'm sure you've met Robert Herrera or Snowburger, these type of guys.
I've met him maybe just like in passing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So those guys, so we started working with them in 2018, and
Okay.
that building 216 West 9th Street was my first ever transaction with these guys. So I leased the 6 apartments up there,
Oh, okay.
and the building is hilarious. So they did the apartments first,
Uh-huh.
and then they had the commercial space still under construction.
Right.
Well, I had 6 apartments to lease. I could access 4 of them from 9th Street and then 2 of them through the back on Girard. So I would show people, the 2 apartments on 9th Street and then like the 4 in the back on Girard, whatever it was. And when I finished up the one side, I would have to walk through the construction
Love it. Oh my gosh.
of, Fair Cafe,
Yeah.
and Gerard Craft and Cork. And I was like, guys, like, I promise they'll be done here soon. Like, you're not going to live in a
Gonna live in
construction
this
zone.
construction zone walking
So,
to your apartments.
yep. Yeah. So I've been involved with that building down there since 2018 was the first time I saw it.
Oh, nice.
So when it was still in, shell condition.
So we started doing the suppers there in 2020 before before COVID and everything. And so that's when it was like still kind of an upscale market
Yep.
and had like, dry goods and things like that in the front. And then I guess they had a pretty bad break-in over
Yes.
COVID.
Yeah.
And then that's when they did all the renovations because we used to actually do the supper club like in the upstairs
Such a
where
cool spot.
where the balcony and stuff
Yeah.
is. But now they have a gorgeous 12-person like solid wood table
The
in the
big
downstairs.
table right there in the middle.
Yeah, so
Is awesome.
that's where we seat everybody right downstairs.
Yeah.
So,
Love that.
yeah.
So like do you have like regulars? Do people come every single month?
I do. Yeah, I do have
Love that.
regulars. They don't necessarily come every single time, but I mean, I have people coming to this supper in November that I think are on like their 5th or 6th one that we've done, which is awesome. It's such a cool way to feel supported.
Love
Yeah,
that.
it's been great.
Love that. And then you finish everybody off, you said Prosecco toast and what, dessert at the end?
Yep. Yeah. So we do like it's like 3 mini appetizers and then the 3 seated courses and then 3 mini desserts. And then we try to send them home with a little something like apple butter or orange marmalade or something
Love
like that.
that.
Yeah. My husband makes amazing like jams
Love
and
that.
jellies.
Is it just you two?
Mhm.
Like, you guys have any help with you, or is it
No.
just you two?
I have
Really take the front of house, back of house thing
Yeah,
seriously.
very seriously. Yeah, because I mean, we met at work and that's kind of was like our first language. We
Mhm.
were friends for a while before we ever even started dating. So that was kind of how we learned really to talk to each other. So no, I have my brother comes. My brother comes and helps me once it reaches like a certain number. If it's over 12 or 14 people, I need an extra hand.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, just to like walk all the meals and everything out. But yeah, my brother and he will work for leftovers, so I'm really thankful for that. Um,
And this is Colby?
yeah.
Nice.
So we
Yeah.
did shout out to my brother.
Shout out Colby.
But we did like a Mother's Day brunch, and that was the first time that it wasn't a dinner, so that was really cool. And I had to hire someone for that, and then the GM at Fair, actually, Carolina. Shout out to Carolina, she's my favorite. She actually stayed on in case anybody wanted like a fancy coffee
bet.
drink or something like that, because I don't mess with their Lamborghini of an espresso maker
No,
that
that
they
thing's
have there.
intense.
It's amazing,
Yeah.
but I like don't want to blow a
Yeah.
gasket or
Yeah.
anything on it.
Yeah. We are big fans of Carolina.
Yeah.
Toots, you still in here?
She's a sweetheart.
Is Connor still in here or no? Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, he's got his AirPods in.
Yeah.
Caroline is a past client, so me and
Nice.
Connor worked with her selling her her parents' house, which was an experience. But yeah, she's a total sweetheart.
She's
So
awesome. She is a true professional.
yeah,
I really like working with
yeah,
her.
yeah.
Yeah.
We're big fans. And then funny enough, so we've never met before, right?
Yeah, but I'm sure
Yeah.
it's just like the one Delaware degree where I'm sure
We have so many
all of
Delaware
the same people.
degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Cole on our team, he actually worked at Farmer, him and his brother and his brother's girlfriend.
Nice.
So yeah, we've known Mikey Day for a while.
Mhm.
And then you with the Amanda connection,
Yeah.
and then Dan Sheridan connection. So
Yeah,
we were
me and Dan actually went to high school together. Yep,
small
I've
world.
known him forever, and he was the chef at Cantwell's Tavern when I started working there.
Love it.
Yeah.
Where is Cantwell's?
In Odessa.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, it's in historic Odessa and like a really pretty like old brick building
Nice.
that's owned by the Ashbys. So the same people that
Oh,
own
okay.
the Inns in Deer Park.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha. Yeah, this is such a Delaware's so small. The Delaware restaurant world.
Delaware
is super
hospitality
small.
is serious. Yeah, you gotta like mind
Yeah.
your P's and Q's if you want to be successful.
Same with the
It's
real
insane.
estate. Yeah.
Yeah, because you never really know, and that's why it's best to kind of like be professionable.
Yeah.
And as someone who's been like a bartender and stuff, and people talk and people
Oh,
say stuff.
100%.
So yeah, you have to be
100%.
you have to do what you say you're gonna do and kind of be
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. Do you, and this is just a sidebar, you
Okay.
might not have an answer to this question. Do you have any haters? Because we've run into our first, little battle of haters recently.
I think you get people. So I do the farmers market every Sunday at the Newark Natural Foods, like right there
Okay.
on Main Street. That's been kind of my like longest steady gig for a while. I do it for 29 weeks. So Cinco de Mayo all the way until like right before Thanksgiving. I get a couple people that will come and like say stuff or comment on like the pricing or
I'll say it to your face,
much
or just like random.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's not always like hating. I get a lot of people, specifically like middle to older women, who will be like, oh, I couldn't possibly, or I really shouldn't, or I didn't get my steps in, like that kind of stuff. And that like bothers me even more than saying like your scones are shit. Like that bothers me way more because it's like you only get this one chance. Like
Yeah.
eat the scone, Linda. Like take the time. Like have the fun. Like what are you I'm of the school of thought like you only get the one time. Like just do
Yep.
it. Do it or don't. Like I'm not the in between kind of gal. But like outright haters,
Like anybody else in the industry or anything like that? No.
I don't think so. And if
Yeah.
they do, they're pretty quiet about it. Maybe they're, really good at hating and they just do it behind my back or they're just watching.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? I mean, I feel like whenever you're doing something well and you're enjoying it, whether that's professionally or within your marriage, somebody's secretly watching because they want you to fail. But
Right?
yes,
Yeah.
always.
Yeah, that's the devil attacking. Yeah,
Always.
that is the devil attacking. All right, cool. So hopping into that a little bit, how is it working with your spouse?
I mean,
You started as friends. So
we
have
started
that
we
in
started
common
as
as well
friends.
too. Mary Kate and I were friends first.
We were friends. We had so when Cantwell's opened, we had like a really big friend group. There was probably like 20 or 25 of us that would go out all the time because the restaurant was brand new. It had just opened.
Yep.
And so between all of us, there were just a lot of us that always hung out. And my husband and I were really just friends for like 2.5 years or so. So I think that has a lot to do with it because when you don't have that added pressure of dating somebody,
Mhm.
you get to really see what kind of person they are. Like, is this the guy that's going to walk me to my car at night? Like, even though we're friends, is he going to make sure I'm safe? Is it going to be, those kind of things? But my husband just always showed up. He always showed up
Nice.
even as a friend. And to me, that's still what makes the best partner, whether it's professionally or in your marriage.
Love that.
I know that he's always going to show up if I say something's important to me, he makes it important to him
He didn't show up today though for me
He did.
though.
Somebody's got to watch the kids, and take care of all the other stuff too. He's very soft spoken too. I don't know if he would have loved this
All good, all good.
atmosphere.
That's why he's a chef.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's in the back.
it's also like the balance of it all too.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We talk a lot about playing to our strengths.
Hmm.
What we're good at, sort of deal. In our line of work, Mary Kate's very good at dotting the i's, crossing the t's.
Yeah.
I'm way more like big picture
Right.
sort of deal. So I'm like kind of freaking out. We had a big meeting yesterday, and like my email's popping off, and I'm like, oh god, yeah, doesn't
Right.
even matter. It's email. Like one life to live.
We're
fine without
we're
these
definitely
emails.
pretty divided in
Yeah.
our roles about things. He handles a lot more of like the financials because we
Mhm.
do all our own, our extensive payroll with just he and I, but all of like the, things with the taxes and meets with the
Yep.
accountant and handles all of that kind of stuff. Whereas I do like all the social media, all the correspondence, all the setting up events and things like that.
Love that.
Hmm.
Love that. Um, and so how old are your kids? We didn't talk about that.
My kids are 5 and 4.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my
So
daughter just started kindergarten, and my son just turned 4 this past
yeah.
weekend.
So you're out of the stage we're at, but you're still very much in the thick of it with a 4 and a 5-year-old.
Yes. So
Yeah.
thankfully,
Running
my
the
daughter goes to
business.
full-time kindergarten,
Heck
which
yeah.
does open up a little flexibility to do stuff like this. But my son still just does like a 3-day a week preschool.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And he's a younger one, four
Hmm.
4 years old.
Yep.
Love that. Love that. Do they have any inclination? Do they like the business? Like what do they know about
They
it?
like eating scones.
Okay.
They're very bougie now about like what they eat and how things are prepared. And people are always like, "Oh, I bet your kids are just such excellent eaters, because your husband's a chef and you're a baker." And I'm like,
No, you're
sure,
right.
yeah. That's what every chef will tell you. Like even David Chang's like, no, I make Kraft mac and cheese from the box. Like that's what my kids ask me to do. So,
Yep.
um,
Yeah. Every time we ask, what do you want? Mac
what do
and
you
cheese and
want?
chicken nuggets.
Right. And my daughter's like, I'll eat one cold carrot. Like, that's all I get. Um, but they're actually pretty good eaters, better than a lot of children. I've taught preschool and stuff like that for a while, as like a little side gig, supplementary income. So I see a lot of other children. So
Yeah.
I know mine are the best. No, I'm just kidding. But having kids, I mean, man, nothing will test your marriage like having kids and having a business together.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
The highest of highs, the lowest of lows.
Yeah.
And you
But
got to put it all to the side to go to pick up and be like, hey,
yeah,
how was your day?
yeah. But I feel like almost having the business together almost makes you better within your marriage because you develop like a skill set to think of yourself as a work in progress continually, whether
Mhm.
that's what you do here or what you do at home. And I feel like maybe that's something that some married couples could actually try out.
Yes.
Taking the personal attachment of everything that happens kind of out of the equation sometimes
Yep.
does help you see things a little bit clearer.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Going back to, and I think like our industries are very much aligned in that, like going back to the haters thing a little bit, both of our industries really expose who you are at your core,
Mhm.
and like you need to be that person all the way through.
All the time.
Yeah, because people do talk.
Yes.
Yeah, they definitely do.
But also, don't you find you do the best work when you are Vince? Like when you
Yes.
really lean into your strengths, when you really lean
When I
into,
can be 100% honest with
yeah,
people and be
yeah.
who I am, yes.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
when I make the best stuff is when I make the scones exactly the way I want, when I make my tie-dye shirts with the design I want, where I got all new stuff for the supper clubs that's in my like boho 70s vibe, and I stopped trying to say like, what are people gonna want to see or what are they gonna want it to be? And I'm like, well, this is us. So you gotta kind of you either lean into it, like you're on board, or maybe
Mhm.
go somewhere else.
Yep.
Like, not to mention
Love that.
David Chang again, but I saw something.
Who is David Chang?
So he owns Momofuku in New York. He's like a
Okay.
really famous chef. He has like
Gotcha.
a series on Netflix called Dinner Time Live. But he's a very acclaimed chef. And somebody kept coming into his restaurant and ordering Brussels sprouts, and he makes it with bacon. And they just kept saying, like, leave the bacon off, I don't want it with the bacon. And like the fourth time he came in, he was like, hey man, We make it with the bacon because it makes it taste better. Like, if this isn't how you want it, then maybe this isn't the spot for you.
Nice.
And I so respect that because, especially in hospitality, and I'm sure
Yeah.
in real estate just as much, you're always told like the customer is always right. And then sometimes, like, yes, you're right in what you're looking for, but you might be looking in the wrong spot.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want like super stuffy dining, if you want, pressed white linen tablecloths, like, I'm not your gal.
Love that.
Like, it's going to be leaves and monsteras and old candles and stuff like that. Like, that's going to be, you're going to feel like you're at my house.
Yes.
And if you want like the pomp and the circumstance, like, that's just not us.
I love that. I love that. Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
I've done it for long enough for other people. I don't need to do it that way anymore.
I love that. I love that. So we've touched on the supper clubs, touched on, marriage, kids. Anything else you want to add about marriage and kids? Shout out hubby.
I know. Oh, he's the best. Seriously, I'm thankful all the time that I married that man. I told him for a while that I didn't want to date him, and he was just really persistent, and it was the best thing that I ever did, saying yes.
Love that.
Yeah, we've been married 7 years. It's great.
Awesome. 2 and done or what?
Yes, we are all set.
Yeah, we are currently
We are finished. I told you, I drive a 2012 Honda Civic. It's paid off.
Yeah,
Like,
love that.
we're not getting another vehicle.
What color is it?
I don't need a car note. It's silver.
Nice. Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. Yeah, Mary Kate loves getting on her soapbox about the Honda Accord. It's my Honda Accord, but yeah.
But it is kind of that thing, right? Like, you take that money and you put it back into yourself.
Yes.
We spend all our money on going on vacations and doing stuff like that.
Love that.
Yeah.
Where do we like to vacation?
Puerto Rico. That's our new spot. Yeah, because now you can fly from Newcastle.
Really? You can?
Yeah, you can fly right from Newcastle into San Juan. It's only like a 2.5-hour flight.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we have another guest who was on this show. Maybe we'll have to clip this and send it to her. Petite Yogi, Courtney Lockney. So she's on here. Her and her family, they have a Airbnb in Puerto Rico.
Oh, nice.
So I messaged her about it, and she's like, "Yeah, go!" Like,
oh my gosh, you totally should.
So yeah. We're Mary Kate and I both turned 32 in December. So
I love that. I'm a December baby too. When's your birthday?
I'm the 3rd. She's the 26th.
I'm the 19th.
Okay.
Yep.
Are you a Capricorn or what?
I'm a Sagittarius.
Nice.
Yay, hey.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. That's why you and I get along. Yeah.
Right.
Front of house energy. Hopping back into it. So we're talking about future plans for the cupcakes.
Right. Future plans. Definitely the plan is to have a brick and mortar breakfast and lunch place, harkening back something like old like post house vibes. Did you ever go to the post house?
Which post house?
Like old school lunch counter. What's the old school lunch counter you have right
Angelo's.
here? Angelo's. Okay.
Yeah,
so something similar to that, just with like more pastries.
That's the most for sale, not for sale building in the whole entire world.
Right. Well, tell them I said what's up.
Yeah.
When it is for sale.
It's been for sale since I moved to the neighborhood
in
2017.
Nobody can afford it.
Or he just never wants to sell
it. He likes the idea of selling.
Correct.
Yeah. But definitely a place where we can do our own events there.
Love that.
Yeah, breakfast and lunch, pastries. A spot where people can come and sit next to each other.
Open a location, like you live in Newark.
I mean, I'd like to be in Newark, preferably not on Main Street.
Okay.
I feel like Main Street has made it really hard for small business owners. Rent is just ridiculously high right now on Main Street. So that just wouldn't really leave us much room for a profit, but something super tiny, like 1,000 square feet.
Yeah.
Something like very small.
Yeah, like this spot would be amazing because we always think like, hey, worst case scenario, like we got to move out of the office. Someone would scoop this up in a heartbeat.
Oh my gosh,
this
call me.
Here,
The natural light. I'm a plant fanatic. I have plants all in the windows.
Love it. Yeah. We've gotten to the point. So we just hit our 3-year anniversary here at the office.
I saw. That's awesome.
Yep. And it's just so funny to think about, like, when we first moved in, Mary Kate was nervous to, like, sit up front.
Yeah.
And, like, have computers out. And I'm like, babe, like, we need to be up front. We can't be hiding back here
right?
on my high school beer pong table.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
So, I love that. Yeah.
So we eventually all moved up front. So yeah, it's hilarious just watching this place grow. But yeah, I'm excited because we talk about it in our grand plans, like, this spot is awesome and it's totally us. But yeah, I would love to have a professional come in and like do it up. And like
right?
have plants and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Because we have some plants, but I forget to water them and they all die. So is what it is. But all right, cool. So storefront.
Storefront's definitely the plan. Like I said, something small, something that brings the community together, where you can sit next to people, where if it's just you going to get a cup of coffee, you know, you might sit next to somebody that you never met before
Mhm.
and chat it up and
And I don't
break
mean to
bread.
compare, but like,
Right.
was I off with the Tallulah's table? Like a similar type
No,
vibe?
I mean, it's
Yeah.
a very similar vibe. So our menus are like seasonal and it's all chef inspired. The restaurant would kind of pretty much be the same way. It would just be like a really small menu, whatever lunch specials for the day. Maybe do something on Sundays that's like a family package to go.
Yeah.
Like you could come and just pick up a family pack for four, like whatever we're offering that week. But a place where we could hold the supper clubs and kids baking classes. And I do cake decorating classes and stuff like that
We
too.
didn't even touch on any of that. Yeah.
Yeah, we do a lot of different events. I do a lot of
This is
things.
where I was talking about. I keep it going for
Yeah,
like 40, 50,
40
60
minutes, right?
minutes. Yeah. Mary Kate would have had this all wrapped
She
up. She would
likes
have
to
hit
keep
everything.
her
Yeah.
down. I do a lot of stuff at 1723. It's a winery in Landenberg.
Okay.
Again, husband and wife owned spot. I try to seek out places like that that are very similar, not only in values, but that are producing a great product that I would be
Yes.
purchasing anyway, even if I wasn't getting anything in return. And harboring those relationships. The owner, her name's Sarah. She's incredible. I do cake decorating classes there. I'm there once a month doing like little pop ups and
Love it.
stuff.
You said 1723?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I feel like I've been to a winery somewhere out in Landenberg,
Yep.
and this might be it. Yeah. And
Um,
if it was, that place was amazing. Yeah.
yeah, their wine is so good. And they have the vineyard right on site, so they grow all their own grapes and they make the wine right there, which I think is really cool. I think a lot of people don't realize even if you go to a winery, they probably don't actually make their wine on site.
Mm-hmm.
But also catering, we do a lot of catering, private parties, small events, and we'll actually be doing Thanksgiving dinner packages for the holidays this year.
Love
So like
that.
everything you could need, meats, sides, rolls, and a full-size pie. So that's kind of been like what we've been promoting the most recently, that and the supper clubs. But the holidays are definitely our busiest time, which is scary to think after the summer that we've had. That's been super busy too. But you got to be
Are we
ready for it,
nervous? Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. Are we excited? Yeah.
I don't know if I don't necessarily get nervous anymore. I get like I kind of backtrack. So I have a really big event this Saturday. I'll be at the Goldie Beacom Craft Fair. I don't do a lot of craft fairs,
Okay.
but this one I get like a really nice spot in the lobby. And so now I'm like backtracking, like, okay, if it's Saturday, what did I sell last year? Looking up all that kind of stuff. How many people am I anticipating? Stuff like that. Things that you need to be really mindful of when you have a perishable product.
Yep.
Um, so just learning, just keeping it all rolling, kind of like feeding each thing each day, taking care of the catering, social media, marriage, the kids, just keeping it all rolling, making sure to move the laundry from the washer to the dryer because I hear that helps.
Correct. Yes.
But
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
how it is, like you just have to kind of plug
You do
along
the
a little bit
laundry?
each day. Yeah, oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm the
Yeah.
laundry person as well
I,
too.
I like
So
doing the
yeah.
laundry.
Yeah.
Nobody bothers me down in my like basement dungeon. Yeah. I like when there's only one load or two loads to do. But,
Yeah.
you know, as with anything you want to be successful at or you want to be happy in life, you have to, you have to diversify and you have to split your time and make sure everybody's getting what they need.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. So, yeah. So, where can we find you? Where do you guys promote most of your stuff?
On Instagram.
You've been one of our biggest fans on Instagram. You've been commenting a lot.
Because I like your stuff. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
I wanted to come on here to talk about myself and promote. But again, it's like I see your wife say a lot. I want to do things with businesses whose values align with me. I'm not here to be a millionaire or to have, the best bakery ever in the whole entire world. I want to do what I want to do. And I want to do it with people who want to do what they want to do and just move in the same direction. I'm tired of working for people that say, "Oh, we're all family. You only need to work 60 hours a week and it's every weekend and it's always your holidays." And I've worked for plenty of businesses and plenty of companies who, feed you all that nonsense. And my husband and I just got to a point where he was the chef at a place and I was the pastry chef at the same place. And we worked there for like over a year doing that kind of dance. And I looked at him one day and I was like, why are we doing this for someone else? where I'm coming up with the whole pastry menu. He's coming up with the whole savory menu. And it was like, why are we still giving, someone else all the best parts of us and then leaving here, having to work every weekend, every holiday? I just that's not what I'm interested in doing anymore, even if it's taking on a little bit less money.
Yeah, and that's one of the big things that because I worked, similar for a couple different, teams and organizations prior to this. And I
Mhm.
told all these guys, I'm like, you don't need to ask for a day off,
Yeah.
dude. Just like put in the calendar, like give me a heads
Just
up,
take it.
hey, I'm going to Raleigh with my boys. Have fun, dude.
Like,
Like
yeah,
send
have
us
the best
pictures,
time.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jade's on her third honeymoon of the year, so she just
She's
got
so cute.
married. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's adorable.
Yeah.
Love her. Yeah, so she's out at the Grand Canyon, crushing it after, doing a 2 week Europe vacation and then a
Good.
week in Cancun after she got married. I'm like, live it up.
But
Like
that's the thing,
going back
right?
to what we
Like,
talked about, you got one life to live. Do it up.
you only have one time. And I mean, what are you going to do? Wait till you're 55 and then you have a bad knee and you can't like do all the stuff you wanted to do, but
Hmm.
your bank account is full? Like to me richness is not does not equate money in the bank.
Hmm.
It equates like me wanting to go home at the end of a work day,
Yep.
me liking my husband each day when I wake up, and knowing that my kids are proud of me. And
I
after
love that.
that, like my bills are paid, my Honda Civic's paid off. Like, you know what I mean? It's that's the thing, right? And then like deciding, well, so what do I really need? I need a kidless vacation with my husband once a year for a whole entire week where nobody asks me for shit.
Hell yeah.
And
I'm
we go
crazy down.
someplace,
Yeah,
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 and
yeah.
we go someplace remote. I don't have to talk to people
Yep.
because as someone who talks to the general public all the time, when I'm on vacation, I don't want to be at a resort.
No.
I don't want any of that stuff. I want to
Where do we
be
go?
Definitely Puerto
PR?
Rico.
Yeah, yeah.
We go to Europe. We haven't been out of the country since we had kids. It's just really difficult to get that huge block of time. But there's a sleepy surfer town on the northwest coast of Puerto Rico called Rincon. And we go there. We stay there. Very like cool hippie surfer vibe. No shirt at the bar. You're still in your
Love
bathing
that.
suit at 9 p.m. Like nobody cares. Um,
That's what I need.
just kind of
Yeah.
keeping the value in line, like not being worried about so much small stuff and just saying like, am I doing what I want to do? Am I proud of myself? Did I handle business today? It's like I told you my parents are real estate appraisers and my dad really wanted me to come and work for them like fresh out of high school and I just didn't want to do it. I would have made a lot more money than I'm making
Hmm.
now doing what they do. But I wouldn't have had a relationship with my father. He and I are not someone who could have worked together. Me and my
Nah,
brother,
yeah.
we'd probably be fine. But me
Yeah.
and my dad could have never worked together at that point.
Yeah.
And we
Dad
just
ever had to
wouldn't have
talk about adjustments or comparables or beds
yeah,
and baths.
and all that stuff. Yeah. Or input all his chicken scratch sketches into his templates and everything.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Love it. All right, cool. So here, so wrapping up here, we always try to hit everybody with a little bit of rapid questions.
Yeah.
Here's, a few rapid questions off the top.
Sure.
So we mentioned date night, Bardea.
Mm-hmm.
Where's our like guilty pleasure food spot? I always wonder what other people in the food
Guilty
industry.
pleasure
Yeah.
food spot.
For me, it's a Galluccio Stromboli.
Ooh.
I live right next to Galluccio, so whenever I hit it,
No.
Galluccio's
Guilty
late night Stromboli. Yeah.
guilty pleasures. I mean, for me, guilty pleasures are probably just like really good cocktails.
Okay.
Probably for me. Ironically, I don't really have a sweet tooth anymore. I just handle it too much. So probably like a really well-made cocktail at Bardea. There's a restaurant in Philly that I love called Mawn, Mawn. It's a Cambodian place. It's BYOB. It's excellent. They have like fried chicken to die for
Love
there.
it.
That's probably yeah, I don't know if I have like a guilty pleasure spot anymore. Um, just Grand Marnier. Grand Marnier is probably my guilty
Where's
pleasure.
that at?
No,
Or
just
what's
like the
grandma? Yeah,
actual cognac,
the
like the
drink.
actual
Yeah,
Grand
yeah,
Marnier. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I'm not a drinker whatsoever, so I just drink Surfsides. That's about it.
There you
So
go.
that's it. That's it. Favorite coffee?
Favorite coffee? Probably Little Goat in
Little
Newark.
Goat.
They have really good coffee. I am pretty bougie about my coffee, so I do like their stuff, and I do like the coffee at Fair. I think they take their coffee like pretty seriously. So
Nice.
I'd say in this area, probably Fair.
Little Goat and Fair. Yeah, I can get behind that. Little Goat's hilarious.
Mhm.
Like just that little old house right
I
there.
know,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's adorable.
It's so difficult to find any kind of multi-use properties like that for sale anymore in Newark. Everybody snatched them up.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough out there. Favorite Delaware event?
Favorite Delaware
Delaware
event?
event, Delaware Day. For me, it's St. Patrick's Day. Like I love St. Patrick's
Mm,
Day.
let's see. I don't know if it's an event, but we're definitely surf fishers.
Okay.
So we get surf tagged.
3 hours?
Yeah.
Nice.
3 hours, Conquest Road. We go there a lot. So I'd say like more than that kind of thing because our kids are still fairly young. So going and doing like a lot of fairs and stuff like in the Wilmington, maybe the flower market. I do really like the flower market because I
Farm
love,
market's awesome.
yeah, because I love plants. And that's something that's like nostalgic for me. I went to Shortledge for elementary school, and my mom would come and take me out of school every time there was a flower market. So we would
Nice.
like ditch and go hang at the flower market.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. And then last thing, anything else that we should know about the cupcakes?
Mm, I don't think so. I mean, I think we covered a lot of it. Just I just hope that somebody sees this who's teetering, who just like really had a passion project and is like, no, I shouldn't, or I couldn't, or I can't afford to do it. Like, just lean in, just take the chance.
Yep.
And if you fail, then go back to the shitty job you have right now. Like, if you want to move out of state, move out of state. Like, if you don't want to be with your boyfriend anymore, don't be with him. Like, just find your purpose and like really lean into it. And that's when you're going to find that you're doing the best work, making the best things, and collaborating with the best people and feeling the best you probably ever had about your decisions.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. Yeah. Yeah. So, because this is a big undertaking, like doing a podcast, 63
Yeah,
episodes.
it's a lot.
And like when we first started, I was like, are people going to listen to this? Like, and our rule of thumb that Mary Kay and I use is, hey, if it affects like one person, and now we have a little like wait list to get on the podcast, which
Yeah,
is like
awesome.
hilarious. So,
I love
um,
I love what you guys are doing here. And I love that it's not necessarily about real estate, but it's still about community.
yes,
And I feel like that's kind of the vibe that I always get from you guys is that it is about community and like the I forget the name of what you call it, but the event that you do like once a month where you do like
cocktail connections.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
cocktails and connections. Just thinking about like how can I bring people together, even if it's not gonna result in a listing that day, even if
Yeah.
it's not, but it's succeeding in business is all about building relationships.
Correct.
And that's not just laterally, that's up, that's down, that's to the side. And it could be somebody you meet at the grocery store that winds up being your best customer. Ooh, another good piece of advice that I did here is if you own a small business, stop expecting your friends to support you. So you're going to become friends with a customer before your friends become a customer. And if you go into real estate and you think all your friends are going to call you suddenly and say, "Hey Vince, I have all this money, I'm ready to buy a house." Like that's just not the way that it goes. And knowing that building relationships with people all across the board is how you're going to succeed in any kind of business.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. Well, Miss Mo, it was an absolute pleasure having you on.
Oh my gosh, thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. So, that was the Cut Bakes, episode 63. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Love